I worked on my birthday and my dad texted, "We sold your car. Family comes first. Be grateful we let you live here." Then he added, "Oh, and your brother's starting college. You'll cover his first semester. $5,200 due this week." I responded, "Not happening." He replied, "Then pack your things. You're dead to me." So I did. That same night, I left. I forgot something. This morning, they found it. Now my aunt is crying, my uncle is screaming, and my dad's on the porch, begging the neighbors for help. Hey everyone. Before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. It still feels fake. It's my birthday, literally yesterday, and I worked all day, which is normal. My family's big on earning your keep, and my dad's always said, if you want something, you work for it. I was already annoyed I couldn't even take a day off, but whatever. I figured I'd come home and maybe get takeout or just chill. I get off around 7 and see a bunch of messages from my dad. Not unusual, he texts about dumb stuff like trash day or the Wi-Fi, so I open them. The first, "We sold your car. Family comes first. Be grateful we let you live here." I stopped walking and stood in the parking lot. Maybe it's a joke. His humor is like that, so I read on. Then, "Oh, and your brother's starting college. You'll cover his first semester. $5,200 due this week." My car wasn't fancy. I bought it used after saving for literal years and handled registration and insurance. But the title was in my dad's name because insurance was cheaper. He insisted I should have known that would bite me in the ass. I just wanted to stop bumming rides and get to work. I texted back, "Not happening." Then, "Pack your things, you're dead to me." I walked home, now carless, and it took almost an hour in the dark. Inside, my mom was in the kitchen doing dishes, eyes down. My dad was in the living room with the TV loud but not watching. My brother Sterling was nowhere to be found. I asked, "So you actually sold my car?" My dad didn't look at me. "Family comes first. You're old enough to pitch in." It's always like this. Push back and he gets the whole family to close ranks, us versus me. Sterling's the golden child. My aunt and uncle live nearby and are his backup squad. Mom finally said, "Your brother needs this. He's got a real future. Don't be selfish like I never did anything for the family." She listed all the things she does, fixing phones, dealing with bills, running errands, but he never sees it. If I'm not doing exactly what he wants, I'm lazy. I packed last time I fought him. He broke my laptop for lending it to Sterling. This time, clothes, some tech, random high school crap. I could hear Dad on the phone, probably with Uncle Kyle. He's being dramatic and won't back down. Mom was crying silently in the hall. I grabbed my bags. Dad blocked me at the door, saying if I left, I don't come back, and I should be grateful I stayed as long as I did. He shoved me slightly. So did I. Then I left, went straight to Ronan's. I realized he needs me for bill paying, online banking, side gigs selling furniture and electronics. He acts like I'm a freeloader, but I'm the one keeping everything together behind the scenes. If I'm dead to him, I can take it all with me. Logins, passwords, side gig accounts. I shut it all down, leaving only one small thing behind, something with receipts, just to see if he'd notice. I texted my aunt, "Ask your brother." She called Dad. I heard yelling through the wall. I lay on Ronan's couch, scrolling, deciding whether to tell people what really happened, or let the drama explode on its own. I always knew Dad hated that I asked questions instead of obeying like Sterling. Dad's loud, shoving, slamming doors, yelling so neighbors hear. He doesn't care if it embarrasses Mom or Sterling. It's about being right. Ronan said I was exaggerating, until he saw my texts. "You're a leech. You wouldn't survive a week on your own." Around 2, I got a weird FB Marketplace notification. Dad listed items with my number. Buyers reached me. I gave them his number. That's his problem now. I'd also wiped my access from his inventory spreadsheet. No contacts, pickup times. I didn't delete anything, just disconnected. Dad'll freak when he realizes he can't manage his mess. By afternoon, Sterling texted, first mad, then begging. Dad's blaming him because I left and now the college payment is due. But those accounts are locked. They aren't mine anymore. Sterling admits he didn't even want to go this year. Dad auto-enrolled him without asking. I told Sterling to deal with Dad. Aunt Mary texted, "Dad says I sabotaged everything and stole from the family." I told her to ask Dad how many bills were in my name, how much time I spent keeping things running. She hung up. That night, Ronan and I drove past my house. Uncle Kyle's truck was there, never good. Dad and Kyle were yelling. Mom's standing on the porch, arms crossed, staring at her phone. At Ronan's, I got DMs from cousins asking what happened. I kept it vague. Dad sold my car. Some believe me, some don't. Aunt Mary posted in the family chat, "Kieran has chosen to separate himself from our values." I muted it. Now Sterling's locked out of his college account. Dad never wrote down the login. Sterling wants me to reset it. I didn't. I texted the customer service number and told him good luck. He called me a jerk, but he's mad at Dad. This morning, wall of texts from Dad. Electric bill overdue. Water's shutting off. Sterling can't register. Aunt Mary's threatening to call Grandma. Dad says, I need to come home and fix everything or else. I don't answer. Ronan's mom comes home and sees my bags in the corner. She asks, what's up? I tell her the short version, and she just shakes her head and says, family's weird sometimes. She gives me a plate of food and tells me I can stay as long as I need. I'm not feeling guilty. Not even a little. I kept my stuff legal. I didn't touch any money that wasn't mine. I just took back what was actually mine and left them with the stuff they didn't appreciate. You want to treat me like a servant? You can live without the service. The last thing, I get a message from a neighbor I barely know. Old dude, always walks his dog past our house. He says, saw your dad out front, looked rough, heard some yelling. Hope you're okay, kid. If you need anything, let me know. I don't answer, but I keep the message. I'm waiting for them to find what I left behind in my room. It's not illegal. It's not even that dramatic. But they're going to hate it. And when they do, I want them to know exactly who made this mess. If you're still reading, yeah, revenge isn't just walking away. It's making people realize what they lost when they treated you like nothing. Next update soon. If they don't burn the house down first, update 2. Alright, so I didn't even expect to post again this soon, but things have gone way further than I thought they would. Like, I knew my dad was stubborn, but I didn't think he'd go full meltdown mode in front of half the neighborhood. It's been a couple days since I left, and honestly, I thought I'd just get a few angry texts and then radio silence. Nope, it's been group chats, emergency calls, and more guilt trips than I thought possible. So here's how it's playing out. First, Ronan comes in with my phone. I left it charging in the kitchen, and he's like, dude, answer your family. They're blowing me up on Messenger now. So I check, and I've got a string of missed calls from my dad, 2 from my Aunt Mary, and 1 from Uncle Kyle. Not even gonna lie, I almost didn't answer. I finally pick up 1 from my mom, thinking maybe she'd be normal for once, but nah. She just starts in with, why are you doing this to us? Your brother's future is at stake. You're tearing the family apart, etc. I tell her, Dad sold my car, said I was dead to him, so I left. She hangs up on me. I hear her slam the door in the background. Then I get a text from Sterling, which is weird because he rarely messages me directly. He says, Dad's lost it. He's blaming me for everything. Says I need to fix the college account or he's pulling me out. I ask, did you even want to go? And he waits a minute, then says, not really, but Dad says it's an investment. I say, you're not an investment, you're a person. He leaves me on read. So now I'm sitting at Ronan's eating stale chips, just waiting for the next bomb to drop. Around noon, I get a DM from a family friend, someone I only really know from backyard cookouts. She says, your dad's calling everyone trying to get help with the water bill and can't get into his account. She says, is everything okay at home? I just say, yeah, I moved out. Dad's handling it. She writes back a thumbs up. Later in the day, I see my dad post a long rant on his timeline. Public, typical, about kids these days, and respect and how people don't know how to sacrifice for family anymore. It tags Aunt Mary and Uncle Kyle, who both comment like, we're here for you, you're doing the right thing, family comes first. But then I notice my cousin Monica comments, what happened to Kieran's car? And then silence, like nobody wants to answer that one. Around 4 p.m., Ronan and I are watching YouTube, and I hear a car out front. It's Uncle Kyle. He comes up to the door, knocks, and just stands there. Ronan opens it. Kyle says, is Kieran here? We need to talk. I go out and he doesn't even say hi, just starts in with, you need to fix this. Your dad can't pay the bills. Your brother's in trouble. We're all trying to help, and you're being selfish. I tell him I'm not responsible for Dad's mess. I was never treated like family unless it was about work or money. I'm not doing this anymore. He gets mad, steps forward, and shoves me. Ronan's like, back off, man. Kyle says, you're just like your dad, always causing trouble. I say, maybe take a look at how you all treat people who don't do what you want. Kyle turns red, mutters something about ungrateful kids, then storms off, slamming the gate behind him. So now everyone in the family is blowing up my phone. But I'm not caving. I start getting texts from random numbers. I guess my dad's giving out my number now. One is from my Aunt Barbara, who I barely talk to, saying, is it true you stole from your dad? I just send her a screenshot of the car title with his name and the payment receipts for the bills I paid all year. She doesn't answer. Then out of nowhere, Sterling shows up at Ronan's. He's on his bike, looks tired as hell, says he can't handle it at home. He comes in, grabs a glass of water, and just sits there, not talking for like 10 minutes. Finally, he says, Dad's telling everyone you're a thief, that you ruined our lives, and Grandma's threatening to cut off his loan. I ask, are you okay? He shakes his head, says I'm tired of being the favorite if it means I get blamed for everything. He says he wishes he could just get out. I say you can, but you gotta want it. He says he doesn't know. We talk for a while, just regular stuff. He asks what I'm planning next. I say, I'm not letting Dad walk all over me anymore. If they want me gone, I'm gone, but I'm not leaving quietly. Later I get a message from my mom, just her, no group chat. She says, your dad's losing it, yelling at everyone, slapping the table, making threats. She says, I wish you'd just talk to him, but I get it. I don't reply. That night I check the family group chat again. Now there's fighting in there. Uncle Kyle and Aunt Mary are blaming each other. Monica's saying it's not fair. Grandma's saying she's ashamed of all of us. Someone posts a screenshot of my dad's rant about family leeches, and then half the cousins leave the chat. And still, I almost laugh. The weirdest part? Sterling's actually talking to me now. Like, he actually wants to know how I'm doing. He says he told Dad he won't do college if it means tearing the family apart. And Dad lost it. Pushed him against the wall. Then went outside and started yelling at the neighbors about ungrateful kids. Sterling says Mom tried to step in and Dad shoved her too. That's when Aunt Mary started crying, and Uncle Kyle started yelling at Dad, telling him he's lost it. So now the family's split. Nobody's talking to anyone. Dad's making a fool of himself in the neighborhood. And Sterling says he's thinking about moving in with a friend if things don't chill out. I tell him he can crash at Ronan's if he needs to. Ronan shrugs, says sure. For the first time, I feel like I actually did something right. Not just for me, but for Sterling too. I'm not fixing their mess, but I'm not letting them lie about me either. I know there's still stuff going down at the house. I left that packet in my old desk, and I know they haven't found it yet. When they do, it's going to be a whole new level of chaos. I'll update if anything else explodes. I have a feeling it's about to. Final update. So it happened. NGL. Kind of surreal writing this because I always thought revenge stories were mostly fake or just drama for the internet. But this is real. It's ugly. And it's kind of exactly what I wanted to Baha'i. It started super normal. I woke up at Ronan's again. His cat tried to eat my charger cable, whatever, and checked my phone. Nothing big at first. Just some random text from my cousin Monica asking if I was coming to the next family thing. Nope. And Dad's usual guilt trip crap. Mostly ignored. But then I get this absolutely unhinged string of texts from Aunt Mary. All caps, saying, "How could you do this? You've ruined everything," etc. I thought maybe they finally found the packet. To back up, for the people who missed it, before I left I put together a folder. All the receipts, screenshots of every bill I paid, every transfer I made for my dad. Even the messages where he told me to put stuff in my name or use my account so he could get the bonus, or it's just easier. I put a letter in there, spelling out exactly what I handled, what I paid for, and what was actually left on him. I even included a little summary of his side hustle money, how much came in, how much went straight to his collectibles. Not, the family fund. I left it in the bottom drawer of my old desk, right under all the random cables and junk. I knew someone would find it eventually, because my mom's always cleaning when she's mad. So yeah, I guess they found it. Ronan's kitchen window faces the street, so when Uncle Kyle's truck pulled up to my house, I could see everything. He goes in like normal. But then about 5 minutes later, I hear yelling from 3 houses down. It's not just regular yelling either. It's that kind of screaming where you can tell nobody's holding back for the neighbors. Aunt Mary's voice is in there too, and she's crying. I see her slam the screen door and sit on the porch, head in hands, just sobbing. Kyle comes out red-faced, slams his hand on his truck, then goes back in and starts yelling again. My dad comes out after a while, phone in hand, pacing on the porch. He calls someone. I can hear his voice even from Ronan's place, talking about how everyone's turning on him, that it's all lies, I'm making him look bad, etc. At one point, he's calling out to the neighbor across the street, asking if she's seen me, like I'm hiding behind a bush or something. She just shrugs and walks her dog in the other direction. Then I get a text from my mom, which is super rare because she usually just likes to stay out of the drama. She says, "I read your letter. I wish you'd told me sooner." Dad is furious, and Uncle Kyle is threatening to cut him off if he doesn't sort himself out. She says Aunt Mary is crying, Uncle Kyle is yelling at Dad, and now Dad's outside begging the neighbors for help because the electric is off and the water bill hasn't been paid. Sterling calls me, which is wild because he usually only texts. He says it's chaos here. Dad's blaming everyone. Uncle Kyle's threatening to leave. Aunt Mary's crying in the kitchen, and some neighbor came over to see what the noise was about. Sterling says, "Your packet blew everything up." He actually sounds kind of relieved. Then I get another text, this time from Grandma. She says she got sent copies of my receipts and wants to have a talk with my father. I almost laugh. I don't answer. The best part, Dad tries to get into the family group chat to defend himself, but Monica and a couple cousins are asking for proof. Like, show us the bills. Show us where the money went. Dad just keeps saying family comes first, but now nobody's letting him get away with it. It's all out there. I even see a screenshot of the car sale doc, the one with his signature, not mine, floating in the chat. People are putting 2 and 2 together. Ronan's mom comes in and asks if I want anything from the store. I tell her I'm good. Then she goes, "Your dad's making a scene out front. Do you want me to call someone?" I say, "Nah. He'll get tired eventually." She says, "He's out there asking the neighbors if anyone can help with the water bill." I just shake my head. In the middle of all this, Sterling messages me again. He says, "I think I'm done. I'm going to stay at a friend's for a while. Can you give me a ride?" I text back, "Sure," and tell him to meet me at the corner. Ronan tosses me his keys and says, "Bring back fries." That's basically the most support anyone's given me since this started. Right before I leave, I get one last call from Aunt Mary. She's not yelling this time. She's just tired. She says, "I wish things were different." I say, "Me too, but I'm not sorry." I drive by the house and see Dad still on the porch, talking to the neighbor who always complained about our recycling bins. Now he's the one asking for help. Uncle Kyle's truck is gone. Aunt Mary is still inside, but the kitchen light is off. I don't stop. So yeah, that's it. I left the packet, they found it, and now everyone knows. My dad always said family comes first, but what he meant was, His comfort comes first. Everyone else just keeps things running underneath. Not anymore. I'm not going back. I don't care if the electric gets shut off or if he has to actually call the water company himself. I'm not being the backup plan. If there's a lesson here, it's this. Don't let people use you just because it's easier for them. Sometimes you've got to let everything break so people see the mess they made. Anyway, thanks for reading. I'm out.